21-year-old college student posts her budget online and asks 3 words. Am I cooked? She's got a car payment she can't escape, rent she's stretching to cover, and auto insurance that costs more than some people's groceries for a month. Over 1,000 people showed up with answers. And what happened next is not what you'd expect. Hey Profiteer, Eric here. Welcome back to Real Money Stories. Today's episode comes from the Poverty Finance subreddit, and it's one of those posts that started as a budget check and turned into something way more personal. So here's the setup. We've got a 21-year-old woman, full-time college student, working 30 hours a week. She's living with her boyfriend in a $2,300 apartment, and she's trying to figure out if her numbers even work. This post blew up over 1,000 upvotes, nearly 400 comments. Let me read it in their own words. 21 female full-time college student. Please don't ask how I ended up with such a high car payment or auto insurance. I can't fix any of those. I'm stuck with them. Everything else can be worked around, and I can explain. Is this livable? Then the original poster started editing the post, answering the most common questions from the comments. How is your rent variable? I live with my boyfriend who makes much more than me, works 40 hours a week from home, comes from a rich family. I wanted to pay him a $1,000 each month for the $2,300 apartment we just moved into, but I think I will only be able to afford $800 realistically. I also want to split stuff like our energy bill, internet bill, etc. 50-50, but Ike if that's possible either. Why only 30 hours a week? It's all this job will give me, as any more than that, and they would have to give me benefits. They are cheap millionaires and don't want to do that. I am actively looking for other jobs, but that's easier said than done. Is public transportation an option? It's not. The area where I work has 0 public transportation. I could possibly get a job in the area where I live, which is walkable, but it would definitely be a lower paying job at a coffee shop or something similar. I have 7 kish in savings, but really don't want to touch that money. Why is your car insurance so high? I'm 21, young driver, and got into a crash that totaled my car at 19. Can you refinance the car loan? I genuinely don't know. The car loan is through CarMax and the car was used with 100k miles. IK Naboo. Don't even begin to lecture me, please. Then she posted a second edit. Thank you guys so much for all the comments and suggestions. I was not expecting this to get so many eyes on it. I am going to have a conversation with my boyfriend tonight and look into refinancing the car loan. I will keep you all updated. And then came the final update. Last update I'll be making just because I never realized this to get so much traction. Me and my boyfriend talked things over and he didn't realize how stressed out about this I was. He is offering to fully cover rent for the time being, which I'm not fully comfortable with, so we may discuss splitting it differently based on our income or me paying for groceries or something. He held me and let me cry for a good 10 minutes and then took me out to dinner and promised me everything is going to be okay. I'm so glad we talked and that I'm with him. I truly love him. Okay, first thing I want to say reading this, she's 21, in college full-time, working 30 hours a week, and she had the guts to post her budget online knowing people would pick it apart. That takes courage. And you can feel the stress in every line. The please don't lecture me and the IKNW in all caps about the car. She already knows. She's not looking for judgment. She's looking for a way forward. I've been writing about personal finance for over a decade, and the pattern I keep seeing with young people in tight spots is this. The math is almost never the real problem. The real problem is that nobody taught them how to have the money conversation. Not with a spreadsheet. With the person sitting next to them on the couch. So let's walk through what I'd probably do if I were in her shoes. And just a friendly reminder that this episode is intended for entertainment and education purposes only and should not be considered financial or legal advice. Talk with a qualified financial advisor about your specific situation. First framework, the income to rent ratio. There's a classic guideline called the 30% rule. Your housing costs should stay at or below 30% of your gross income. Now, she's working 30 hours a week. We don't know her exact hourly rate, but based on the budget she posted, her take home looks like it's somewhere around $1,600 to $1,800 a month. If she's paying $1,000 in rent on that income, that's well over 50% of her take home going straight to housing. Even at $800, she's pushing close to half. That's not sustainable. And she figured that out herself, which is why she brought it up with her boyfriend. Here's the thing most people miss about splitting costs with a partner who earns significantly more. A 50-50 split sounds fair in theory, but it's not proportional. If he's making 3 or 4 times what she makes, an income proportional split is way more equitable. She pays 25%, he pays 75%, or whatever ratio matches their incomes. That's not charity, that's math. Second framework, the benefits trap. Her employer caps her at 30 hours specifically so they can avoid providing benefits. This is super common in retail and food service. And it's one of the most frustrating structural problems in low-wage work. She's already looking for other jobs, which is the right move, but I'd push her to think about it differently. Instead of just finding another 30-hour gig, she should look for one thing: a position that crosses the benefits threshold. Even if the hourly rate is $1 less, employer-provided health insurance can save hundreds a month. That changes the whole equation. If she can't find full-time work right now because of her class schedule, here's another angle: campus jobs. Most universities offer work, study, or campus employment that's designed around student schedules. The pay might not be amazing, but they're built for exactly her situation. Now, the obvious move here would be saying, just earn more money. But here's where it gets complicated. She's a full-time student. Her time is genuinely limited, and that 30-hour cap from her employer means she can't just pick up extra shifts. So the earning more path has real constraints. What she can control right now today is the spending side, not through extreme frugality. I don't think you should make your life miserable saving money, but through what I'd call conscious spending. Third framework, conscious spending with fixed cost triage. When your income is tight, you sort every expense into 3 buckets. Bucket 1, truly fixed: rent, car payment, insurance. Can't change these without a major life decision. Bucket 2, negotiable fixed: things that feel locked in but actually have flexibility. Her car loan interest rate, her insurance provider, her phone plan. Bucket 3, variable: food, gas, entertainment, subscriptions. Most people in a budget crunch go straight for bucket 3 and start cutting coffee and Netflix. That saves you maybe $40 a month. The real leverage is in bucket 2. She mentioned she doesn't know if she can refinance the car loan through CarMax. She absolutely should find out. Even shaving a percentage point or 3 off her auto loan rate could free up real money each month. Credit unions are often the best bet for auto refinancing. They tend to offer lower rates than the big banks, and they're more willing to work with younger borrowers. On the insurance side, she's paying a premium because of her age and the accident at 19. That accident will fall off her record eventually, usually after 3 years, depending on the state. In the meantime, she should shop around, get quotes from at least 3 other insurers. Some companies weigh accident history differently. She might save $100 a month just by switching. That's $1,200 a year, real money. A fourth point, and this one matters more than any line item on her budget: the $7,000 in savings. She said she doesn't want to touch it. Good instinct. That's her emergency fund, and protecting it is the right call. The 3 to 6 month emergency fund rule exists for exactly this kind of situation. When everything is tight and one flat tire or one missed shift could spiral into real trouble, that savings cushion is the difference between a bad month and a financial crisis. I would not touch that $7,000 unless there's a genuine emergency. Not for rent, not for the car payment. It stays boring, and it keeps her safe. Now let's talk about the update, because it's actually the most important part of this whole post. She sat down with her boyfriend. She told him how stressed she was. He didn't know. They figured it out together. He offered to cover rent for now. She pushed back because she's uncomfortable with that, and they're working toward a proportional split. That conversation probably did more for her financial future than any spreadsheet trick I could suggest. Here's why. Personal finance should be fun, or at least it shouldn't make you cry alone at your desk. The Joneses probably have $10,000 in credit card debt, but the couples who actually build wealth, they talk about money openly. They adjust when one person is carrying more weight. They treat the household like a team, not a ledger. She's not cooked. She's 21 in college, building a career, and she just had one of the hardest conversations most couples avoid for years. She's ahead of the game. Is the budget tight? Absolutely. But tight budgets at 21 while getting a degree are temporary. Her earning potential is unlimited. That degree, those work habits, even this moment of figuring it out under pressure, all of that compounds. The specific question was, am I cooked? With a car payment she regrets and rent she can barely cover. But the principle is bigger than any single line item. When your budget doesn't balance, the answer is almost never just cut more. It's talk with the people in your life, find the structural fixes in your negotiable costs, protect your savings, and keep investing in the thing that raises your ceiling. For her, that's finishing school. It always starts with the first dollar, and sometimes it starts with a hard conversation on the couch. If you found this helpful, share it with someone dealing with the same thing. Until next time, stay profitable.